Donald Trump has been on a tear on social media, proclaiming his second indictment to be a witch hunt, of course. And the MAGA faithful are falling in line with sometimes ominous overtones. Arizona Congressman Andy Biggs tweeted, "We have now reached a war phase, eye for an eye." Joining me now, former Republican Congressman from Virginia, Denver Riggleman, author of The Breach, The Untold Story of the Investigation into January 6th. Denver, my friend, it's always so good to have you on the show. Many people know that you were an intelligence officer in the United States Air Force, but I wanted to get your reaction straight out of the gate to the extent of the classified information that Trump illegally retained after his presidency.
I think what's amazing to somebody like me, Katie, good morning, by the way. What's amazing to me is that he actually told somebody on tape, and this is why when you see the reactions from people like Andy Biggs or even Clay Higgins talking about military mission planning, the fact is he said, look, look at these secret documents. Look at this, right? And it's not the exact quote, but it's darn close to it. And when you have things on tape like that, or you're showing the Iran war plans, or you're showing an op plan, or you're showing something from senior leadership that's actually classified, if I were on tape doing that, or anybody in my business, somebody who's had TSSCI, multiple tickets, been read on multiple special access programs, and if I'm doing that, showing somebody secret documents that are not cleared and admitting that he had not unclassified those documents when he was POTUS, which, again, that's a whole nother question. I think, I would have been dragged from my home, and thrown in the clink. And, and looking at the pictures, even that you're showing right now, he actually dumped secret documents in the dump. I mean, where are we at as a country right now that we don't see the seriousness this, and we have elected representatives that are gaslighting the American people or putting things that are that hyperbolic, outrageous, and implies violence on social media? It's really amazing. There's just no adults in the room right now when it comes to those type of individuals.
Well, and Denver, it's not just people playing around. I mean, there's some very serious stuff here. But Clay Higgins, you brought him up a second ago. In response to Tuesday's arraignment, Republican Congressman Clay Higgins tweeted the following, quote, "This is a perimeter probe from the oppressors. Hold. Our POTUS has this. Buckle up. 1/50K. Know your bridges. Rock steady calm. That is all." What in the world, Denver, is Higgins saying here?
It's military language. I don't think Clay Higgins was a National Guardsman, right? He was a military policeman, I believe. He was law enforcement, but he's cosplaying mission planning. I was an actual professional mission planner for years, all the way from Operation Allied Force through 9/11 and OIF. So to look at something like this, 1 to 50 is actually a map, a 1 to 50,000 or a mission planning map that looks at ingress and egress routes. Bridges could be that, but it's also a call to arms or a call to be prepared for contact with the enemy. There is going to either be defensive or offensive. So you have, really this individual out there, and I know Clay, I served with him back in 2019 to 2021. This is so irresponsible, but it's also almost a cosplay ridiculousness that actually could spark violence with people that maybe are too ignorant to understand or absolutely understand what a Clay Higgins is putting out there. And I think at this point he probably needs to retract that or delete it and to apologize for such ridiculous language, because it makes real military individuals almost cringe. It's so cringeworthy that I do believe that we have to have a point in this country where the sane sort of rise up against this type of hyperbolic bullshit. And I think, for me as a former military person, it's just embarrassing to see somebody like that especially an elected representative case. It's just embarrassing to see somebody tweet something like that.
But Denver, it's now transcended just being hyperbole, right? We've seen an actual incident of political violence on January 6th. Mike Pence, for example, he's been through the fire with Donald Trump. It's been 2 years plus since the January 6th insurrection at the Capitol, and you had MAGA extremists threatening to hang him there. At this point, though, would somebody like Donald Trump winning the nomination for the GOP at the primary be a clear endorsement of political violence?
I'm going to tell you, Katie, that might be one of the best questions I've been asked, and I think it is an endorsement of political violence. I think we have to look at 2024. We already have the plan, right? We already know the tactics, techniques, and procedures in the military. If people want to talk real military, the TTPs of how they did it on January 6th. We have to look to the future, Katie, and that's why that question is so profound, is that we still have the 2024 election coming up. And what happens in the spring of 2024 when things become very aggressive in the campaigning? I do believe Donald Trump's going to be the nominee for the GOP. I think a lot of people do believe that. And if it is sort of a Trump-Biden rematch, what's going to happen when this type of hyperbolic language or outrageous language actually translates to violence, right? There's a weaponization and monetization of this type of language that we saw on January 6th. I think now with Donald Trump going to be out there continually saying he's a political prisoner, he's being attacked by the deep state, it's a witch hunt, it's a globalist plot to take him down. All the conspiracy wackos are going to be dragged from their basements to get involved again, and a lot of those wackos, sadly, are in the United States Congress.